Hi, it's Elaine Grundy from the Reiki Centre, and today we're going to be talking about teachers and how to find teachers and how to interact with them and blah blah blah. It actually comes from a request. Somebody sent me a note to say, okay, I have a few teachers in my life that I really respect in terms of their wisdom. However, their personality I find difficult. So how important is it to find a teacher that you truly resonate with? And I would say that, well, good luck to that. I think that all teachers have a certain personality and you may or may not like it. But that doesn't mean that the information that they provide is not of value and valid and important and helpful. So the way I look at it is that we have a particular journey, and along the way we have people that come into our lives for a specific reason. Sometimes that reason is to provide information, sometimes it's to show us things that we need to do or not do, and teachers are part of that process. So over the years I've come across many teachers, and the teachers aren't necessarily specifically teachers, they can be people who have come into our lives to teach us something. But if we look specifically at teachers themselves, people who are teaching us a modality or teachers who are helping us with our spiritual path, it's important to realize what they are there to do. So if a teacher is there to give you wisdom and information on a particular path, let's say you're learning yoga and you come across a yoga teacher who is very experienced and has a lot of information to give you on that particular modality of yoga that you're interested in, then that's great. You get the information from them, and they may or may not be friends, they may or may not be people that you necessarily aspire to become spiritually or personality-wise, but the information they provide is valid, it's useful. Then there are other people who are spiritual teachers, and in that sense I think the resonance is possibly more important, because a spiritual teacher is somebody who can point the way along your path. So somebody who is already further along than you. And in a sense, that's the same with everything. Like a yoga teacher, you would expect them to be further along that yoga path than you. So then the information is useful. But for a spiritual teacher, you are actually, the expectation is that they are further along the spiritual path than you. But even then, they are further along their spiritual path, and some of the aspects and wisdom that they point to will be useful for you, but not all of it. Your path is your path. And to expect, I mean, it doesn't make sense when we think about it, to expect another person to point us along our path is not logical. I mean, it doesn't make sense. So, and having said that, that is part of the expectation. You think about people that go to these really big spiritual gurus. There is almost this hanging on to every word and this expectation that everything they say has a truth to it. Yes, but the truth is their truth, and your truth may well be different, and your experience will be different. So trying to match a teacher, and particularly a teacher that you feel has a lot of spiritual wisdom, with your own path is not a possibility. Any spiritual teacher worth their while will tell you time and time again that really spiritual growth is an inside job. And it's something that you have to do for yourself. You have to experience it for yourself. You have to figure it out for yourself. No one else can walk your journey for you. They may well point in the direction, but that direction is always like, this worked for me. It's not, this will work for you. And anybody that says that is deluded. Anyone that says you should be doing what I'm doing because what I'm doing is the truth, I would probably run a mile from. That would be one thing, that if a teacher is saying that to you, then you probably want to consider, is this teacher really to my highest good? Is this teacher really got my highest good in mind? Or are they pushing their agenda? Ooh, look, you can see a little bee behind me. Point to it. Anyway, back to the spiritual guru. Yeah, I think that's a really important thing to notice. And now I'm laughing about the bee. See, the bee's here to teach me something, and I'm here to teach you something. So, essentially, the bee is telling you to follow your own path. Teachers come into your life for a reason, and that reason is always useful and helpful, however. But as you grow, it's like, okay, your path is like this, and there will be alignment, and the teacher will come in and be the perfect person for you, but then it will separate, and you may journey with that teacher for quite some time. I'm not saying that you can't be with that teacher for years, but essentially your path and their path will at some point diverge, because you're growing, and as you grow, you will continue to journey along your own path, and perhaps you're lucky and you find a teacher that is completely aligned with you for many, many years. My own experience is that the reality is that when you find a teacher, they will be incredibly important and really helpful for a short period of time, years, perhaps, many years, but not a lifetime. And I think that that's something to be really clear on in yourself. Don't attach to a guru or attach to a teacher and think, okay, I have to follow them for the rest of my life. And particularly if they are teachers of modalities, they are experienced and expert in their field. And that does not mean that they can help you in all the other fields. And it certainly doesn't mean they can help you in your own spiritual search. Maybe they can, maybe they can't. But just being very clear on that means that you will take exactly what you need from them, and you won't be disappointed, and you won't look at them in the future as a letdown or a disappointment, or they couldn't give me what I wanted. Be very clear on what it is you want from this teacher, and that clarity will help to guide you, first of all, when it's time to move on, and also it will also guide you in terms of your own expectations, so that you don't over expect this person to do something for you that they just can't do. So I hope that's helpful. I hope that answers the question. And thank you from me and the bee.